All right. Sorry about that. A little bit of a mistake here with this cast. I guess I wasn't casting at the beginning of this game. So I'm going to try and catch you up now. We have Suby is the yellow Zerg spawning in the top right here. And what you see right now is he is trying to fend off some early 2-Rax aggression from Broxy, our teal Terran. And he was able to get a cancel on a bunker being built here. But now is just not able to do a lot of damage to these Marines down here. These Marines are going to be able to take out those Zerglings pretty easily. He's got a lot more Zerglings out. He's got 6 Zerglings here. He's got a couple more on the way. He's got the Spine Crawler moving down here. So he should be okay against this early aggression, unless Broxy goes super aggressive. But we see he's dropping down his command center to expand, so he is probably going to stop this pressure pretty soon. He is throwing down a bunker here. This is way out of range. It's not going to be able to take out the hatchery or any of these workers. However, it is going to provide these Marines with a nice place to run away if they don't get surrounded by these Zerglings. These Zerglings do get a nice round and kill all but one Marine, and that Marine is going to have to run all the way home. This bunker has to be canceled, and that worker goes down, and this Marine will get away with his life. Only 1 kill. We look at the units lost tab. 5 units lost for 450 total resources for Broxy, the teal Terran. Only 200 resources worth of units lost on Suby's side. Now, I'm not sure how you get 7 units worth 200 resources. I guess those are all Zerglings, as each one is technically worth 25 minerals, since you buy them for 50 minerals, and they go down in price of 2. We are seeing his Zerglings are getting very aggressive here. They were able to kill what looks like a worker, maybe a couple Marines, but he's doing a lot of damage to this wall, and Broxy needs to get out some Marines very quickly, or this wall is going to go down. This tech lab is about to fall, and these Zerglings are just going to run in here and do all sorts of damage. This SCV probably going to die. All of these SCVs likely going to die. They're repairing each other, but it is just to no avail. And now these Marines are coming in, but 2 Marines against this number of Zerglings is really not going to do a whole lot, especially if he gets us around here, and he does. Now these workers out here going to be able to clean this up, so Suby is not going to be able to win the game with this amount of Zerglings, but he did just get a huge lead. As we can see, his natural expansion is up. It is saturated on the minerals. He has barely any drones in his main, so that's a little bit of a weird worker transfer over there. And, of course, he only has 3 on gas, but Zerglings cost no gas, so he is probably feeling pretty comfortable just going straight for Zerglings. He is getting more drones now, starting to get his economy back up. This is a very early lair. I don't really agree with this. He's only got Zergling tech. He only has this spawning pool out. He doesn't even have a Baneling nest. I would at least throw down Growth Warren or try and get that Baneling nest before I go to lair tech. This is a bit early, and if you're going to go for this sort of aggressive kill sequence right now with all these Zerglings, you don't need that lair tech. So why would you throw it down? Why would you waste that gas instead of trying to get some tougher units like roaches, or switching off gas and going to minerals and getting a lot more lings? Now he is getting his ling speed up, but as we see, he's only got 14 lings. That is not enough against 26 SCVs and 4 Marines. That he could do some decent damage, but definitely not against these bunkers, not without a much larger amount of Zerglings. Now he is going for 3 gases simultaneously, so this is a bit of a Spanishiwa build, where he just defends with very minimal amount of Zerglings and drones and some queens. Now these bases are starting to look a little more balanced with the worker count. He's going to switch some harvesters into gas and get a 3rd base. Now I like this. Suby is feeling ahead, and he's not trying to go for some sort of risky all-in play. He's going to get more ahead. This is a strategy I try and use with my games. If I'm feeling ahead, why try and go on some sort of risky attack that might not work? You might fail, and then all of a sudden your lead is gone, and the other player is much better or even ahead on his own. I think it's a much safer play to, when you're ahead, get up another base, or if you're a Protoss or Terran player, get up a couple more production facilities, get up another base, work on your macro, and you'll be able to just sweep over your opponent. At that point, once you've got much superior macro, you can suicide an entire army into your opponent and then just build another army, especially as Zerg. Zerg are able to re-macro their army so fast if playing properly. Now, Broxy here, a little aggressive. 6 barracks is a little much to be producing off of just 2 bases, as well as this factory going to be pumping out tanks. He is going for a reactor here for a lot of Marines. 2 more reactors being thrown down. So we're not seeing any sort of Marauder play, and that makes sense because he hasn't seen any armored tech from Suby. Suby only just now getting his Spire up, and so that's going to open up a little bit larger of a tech trade. He has this Baling Nest, but there are no Balings on the field, so he's not using that. 8 Mutalisks, however, coming out onto the field. That's not going to be very effective against those mass Marines. This Overseer is feeling so lucky right now. It got out with 2 hit points from scouting that base, as those Marines were able to do a lot of damage to it before it left. So we're seeing this game is developing into a little bit of a turtle fest, as many games do. I guess there was an error with the stream, so you guys didn't see the beginning of this stream. This is part of the Small Time Tournament, which is a new Reddit tournament for gold and platinum level players. So these are somewhat high level players. They're skilled, much more so than your average forever bronze player, but they're not the most skilled players in the world, and that's okay. You know, we're just here to have fun. This is my first time casting any games, much less casting a tournament, and I'm having a lot of fun, and so hopefully these players are having a lot of fun. 6 Mutalisks here in the back of the base, going to be able to do a nice little bit of damage against these workers, but nothing too significant, as there are just a lot of Marines either here or in bunkers or hiding back here, and they're going to be able to move up and scare these Mutalisks away. The Mutalisks are going to take out a couple workers. We are up to 9 workers killed for Suby, the Yellow Zerg. So he's got to be feeling pretty happy about that. It doesn't look like he lost any Mutalisks on that, and he took that opportunity to clear these rocks out of the gold expansion. So we could be seeing a 4th base at about 15 minutes here for this player. He's got all these Overlords stacked up here, not really doing anything. I don't like this. I like it when Zerg players use their Overlords to just spread out all over the map and get all sorts of scouting information. Basically, as a Terran or Protoss player, you have nothing to combat this. And so you just have to be moving out into the dark, whereas the Zerg player can be watching every move you make. Now these Mutalisks are going to be coming in here. They might be able to snipe some of these tanks. These bunkers are loaded up with Marines, so he doesn't want to stick around here too long. He is going to try and attack this bunker. I don't know if this is worth it. He's taking a lot of damage. If he doesn't even kill the bunker, SCV is going to be able to come off the line, or he's just going to salvage it. You know, hey, bunkers are us. I've got 2 very damaged bunkers I want to return to you for 75% price. Oh, that sounds okay. So he's going to get back a lot of his minerals on that after doing quite a lot of damage to these Mutalisks. Mutalisks are healing, but you know, they heal very slowly. And we saw this Overseer only healed about 60 health, and that's been about 3 minutes of Blizzard time. So these Mutalisks going to be wounded for quite a while. Some Stimmed Marines are definitely going to be able to take that out. Speaking of Stim, only just now getting research. This is very late, and a Thor coming out. Thors are incredibly powerful against Mutalisks, especially when they're clumped up. Although this is a lot of Mutalisks. 23 Mutalisks in this hotkey group, going to do a lot of damage to these workers, kill a lot more, and could move in and start doing a lot of damage to these production facilities. But it looks like Suby's just going to give his friend Broxy a break. He's going to say, you know what, no, I don't want to do that much damage against you guys. These 4 Zerglings in a pretty good position, which is surprising because he hasn't touched these Zerglings since he ran down in the beginning of the game, and we've got a huge aggressive push from Broxy. No wonder Suby pulled back his Mutalisks. He has got to deal with this. These Zerglings trying to run in here, get us around on these tanks, but they're just doing nothing. There's so many tanks, and this Thor is going to get great shots off on these Mutalisks. It is almost going to go down, but it's just not enough. And now Broxy has a surprisingly huge force in Suby's face. I don't know what Suby can do. He's got 9 Banelings warping or mutating in somewhere. This is a lot of Banelings. It could do a lot of damage against these Marines if not micro, but Broxy has his eye right on this, and he's micro. He's still losing a lot of Marines, but these tanks and this Thor are still alive. This Thor with 5 hit points. Now, Suby may be able to clean this up. He's taking out a couple more of the tanks. These Banelings coming in here are not going to be doing maximum amount of damage since these are not light units. And now Broxy's attack getting cleaned up, but after doing so much damage, only killing 6 workers total, but just doing a lot of damage economically. As you can see, Broxy the Terran is way ahead in the units lost at. He's got about 5,000 resources advantage over Suby in that regard. This game turned around incredibly. Broxy still continuing to do damage to this aggressive gold 4th. These Marines all very weak, but still doing a lot of damage. 2 Thors out here are going to be able to take care of any Mutalisks if they're not properly microed. These Broodlings going to do a lot of damage against the Marines, but he's just going to walk away. Just walk away. The better part of Valor is discretion. As Broxy well knows, he's just going to run away from those Broodlings and go down here and do some damage to the 3rd. And why not? We're seeing Zerglings in production, some more Spine Crawlers, Banelings, but I just don't think Suby has what it takes to come back from this devastating attack. Both his extra expansions getting taken out, he is down to 2 bases, and his main is very low on resources. His natural getting a little bit low. This extractor taken out, only 1 guy on gas here, and Broxy is wisely going to back off after this attack. Broxy was behind in food by quite a lot. I think it was about a 20 or 30 food difference. Now look, he is ahead by 40. 40 food difference. That is huge, especially against the Zerg players. Zergs are almost expected to just have massive food advantages, and he has a massive food disadvantage here, as well as a tech disadvantage, as Broxy just has every unit in his army composition he needs to counter everything he's seen from Suby. Those tanks are going to completely take out these Zerglings and the Banelings, and the Thors can take out any Mutalisks, although, if we look, Suby only has these 3 Mutalisks, which are not enough to do anything, really. And here's the attack. A lot of Banelings coming in, doing some damage against the Marines, but just not doing enough damage. Both the Thors are getting taken out, though, and Suby may defeat this attack. Now, he does a lot of damage and wisely pulls out. He's going to stop, or take out these Overlords, send in those Zerglings, just do a little bit of damage, try and get them off that Overlord. It is not successful. Now Suby is sacrificing a lot of units, but forcing the stim on these Marines to run away. That's going to make them take a lot of damage, and still a lot of them going to be killed. However, Broxy has macroed himself another nice little army. He's going to be floating a command center and probably going to make a planetary fortress, as a planetary fortress makes this nigh impenetrable to ground units like Zerglings and Banelings. Mutalisks can sweep in here, but again, not if all the Mutalisks you have are just 3 Mutalisks, which are out of position here, and if Broxy sees this, he's going to take these out, no problem. 1, 2, 3, Mutalisks go down. That was definitely a mistake by Suby. Should have pulled those back. He's going to catch these Banelings a little bit with their pants down, but those Banelings are going to morph just in time and do a lot of damage and take out everything here. And Broxy just has a pitiful force of 3 Marines and 3 tanks left here to do some damage to these expansions. Both players taking so much damage. This is back and forth like crazy. Broxy needs to be doing something with this gold expansion. Holy mule, Batman! He calls down, how many is this? 7 mules. They're going to start collecting minerals like crazy. And as we see, we have huge resource amounts for both players. We've got 700 minerals for Broxy the Terran. We've got over 1,000 minerals and almost 1,000 gas for Suby the Zerg. These players need to be spending this money. We need to see some more unit production facilities out of both players. I saw Suby trying to throw down a macro hatchery, but he must have canceled that when Broxy put on all this pressure. And speaking of pressure, Broxy moving his units back up, probably going to take the towers. I don't know if he's feeling comfortable enough to go and put more pressure on. He definitely still has the food advantage, so he could do something aggressive. He is moving up, and we see only 7 Mutalisks and only 41 Zerglings. Now he's morphing in 1 Baneling, a couple more Banelings now, but if Broxy moves forward too aggressively, he's going to take these Banelings out before they can morph. Broxy doing so much damage, catching these Banelings before they morph, they can do no damage. These Zerglings not going to be able to do anything against this number of Marines or against these tanks sieged up in the background. Broxy looking undefeatable at this point, taking out the natural of Suby, going to be doing a lot of damage to all these all these eggs. And no, this is not a best of 1. This is a best of 3. So Suby will be able to continue playing, and he GG's, and that is game. Wow. That was a very interesting back and forth game. I thought Suby was ahead for a lot of that game, and Broxy pulling out the aggressive win to come back and take game 1. Now Suby will be able to pick his choice of map for the round 2. So as soon as he does that, we can get both players into the game. We will be starting up. I'm going to stop my stream and hopefully get a nice little video out of this, even though I messed up somehow and lost that original part of the stream. So again, this is Zen's small time tournament. You just watched game 1 of a round 2 match. We're going to be moving on to game 2 of the match, where Broxy could take a win, or we could see Suby make an interesting comeback. See you guys in a few minutes.